Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of the PodCAS, unofficial IB podcast made by IB students for IB students and other teachers alike. And today is another simple duo episode without any guests, where today we may be discussing our
empty AV room.
We are in an empty
There's no air conditioning that's standing up right now.
There's nothing here.
This is a poverty episode.
It's a poverty episode because recording. Well, basically, we kind of just like scavenge random rooms and try to record.
We've got exams all week, alright?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, then you give us some time to spare.
Alright, speaking of exams and speaking of
Yeah.
school, recently, or like not recently, how long has it been since we started school back in?
You know, I like my sense of time has just completely disappeared.
Yeah, and
since the pandemic.
and
I don't know when tomorrow is, when yesterday is.
And I am sure that, you know, I don't believe many other countries are like us, where we're actually doing not too bad with the pandemic.
And we're at school, actually.
At school, you know, being able to talk to teachers and not having
doing our IB
do online classes. Now, but we have went into quarantine, or like
we
have
have
a little bit of lockdown.
one semester of quarantine.
One semester of
Half a
quarantine.
semester of quarantine.
Now that we're back, how do you feel?
How do I feel?
How do you feel about just like being back? Like being back here and then whatever like regulations they try to impose. Like of course we're all wearing masks. And of course the 6 feet social distancing isn't going to work when you allow one stairwell with a width of a refrigerator for students to go through.
Let's see. What's different from learning at home and learning here? I think probably the biggest one is the fact that there's people.
Oh, right.
There's
People, right.
Like, I'm not just at home alone, waking up for like 10 minutes before I have to attend class.
Yeah.
Coming to class with like my bed head, I haven't even showered yet. I don't know. I'd say it's different, but my learning styles between the pandemic and here haven't changed at all. Most of the times I'm just... Most of my studying comes from self-studying and not really learning things in class, I guess. It's not because I don't pay attention in class, it's just because I don't understand what's going on in class half the time.
That is interesting. Can you like elaborate more on what do you mean by just like not understanding what's going on in class?
Okay,
because
it comes down to one fundamental issue, which is that I don't take notes, and if I do take notes, my handwriting is going to be impossible to read, so there's no point in me doing it anyways.
Yeah,
for the time being.
I can clearly support that point. Your handwriting is
Thank you.
really...
How about we divert the conversation away from me and disparaging my social status and go back to you?
Oh.
Why? What's different?
What's different? I see. I do have to say the difference really is mainly only in the initial part of like returning to school, where you know teachers are actually being like imposing regulations on students, and we have like tables that like separate across the rooms, and other students were like next to each other and all those stuff. But as time goes on, it just kind of returns to normal.
It did really just.
And personally, I mean, I do get a lot from classes. I mean, I do self-study, but classes for me provide like valuable time where you can actually like ask questions to teachers.
True.
And those things especially since for our online classes, they were like shortened by half.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know for what reason, but probably because like time constraints and pandemic causing more stress or whatever workload that are gonna have to impose on teachers, and then exams being changed and all those stuff. But yeah, I do enjoy coming back. It really enhances my learning. Honestly, truth be told, during online courses, I say that I don't pay attention to half of it.
I'll be completely honest too. When online courses are happening, half the time I'm either practicing the piano while listening to teachers talk, or doing some homework while like trying to pay attention in class.
Yeah, and also for like some certain courses are just really from like not meant for like online courses. Like for example, for me, I take literature and performance.
Yes.
I don't.
You're gonna take a video of yourself in your pajamas. Like, what are you gonna find as a replacement for a sword?
I
like grab the nearest boomstick, like start banging on the wall.
Banging on the wall.
This is fighting.
for one of my projects, I had to like convert my bedroom into sort of like an acting scene where I had to like film myself, and then behind me, I got like a future board with like green screen.
There we go.
In order to get
I was gonna say that.
in order to get the settings I want, and
So that's why you had that future board there.
that's
Like
why-
every time I saw you in NAFPAS, it was just like, why?
But yeah, of course, that is more difficult to do, and also, I mean, not to say that the technology isn't there, but Google Meets and Zooms is sometimes it's just horrible. It's screen sharing.
Have you had a person hack into your Google Meets or Zoom meeting?
It hacked into our
Yeah, it
class.
hacked into our TOK for
It's like our class, not TOK class.
That was
Some random just joined and started like blasting out
somehow
random music,
anime music, and we
you know,
had to reset that.
and we had to reset the link, and then the tears started to become really paranoid, and then he started shaking links every single day in order to make sure it doesn't happen again. He like switched from like Zoom to like Google Meet forever not.
Back to Google Meets over Zoom.
Back to Google Meet, yeah.
Well, in my honest opinion, though, like, would you prefer real life learning?
Classes, definitely classes. I don't really like online unless it's necessary, or if online is better than actual classes. Now there's probably one class that I'd say probably more suitable for online, but I'm not gonna say what class or who's the teacher because I want to retain their anonymity. And also, I don't want to like.
What classes do you think benefit the most from being here in real life?
In
my opinion, I don't know why it doesn't really seem like something that would benefit a lot, but math.
Math.
So much easier.
Math definitely, especially since some programs doing screen sharing, and especially since our teacher's method of screen sharing. Of course, our teacher doesn't have like a fancy like tablet to write on. He writes on his paper, and then he uses a capture program to capture the paper, and then he live streams that paper onto the program, and then in the end, every single number looks the same because of how pixelated it is, how bad quality the program is, and I'm just like, I can't.
It seems like something that should in theory work through like an online screen sharing method though. It's not like something where you have to do anything too practical, but. I don't know. For our math class, at least, it benefits heavily.
I mean, also in math class, I mean, we also like very much like often like walk through like our classmates or like other desks, and then we ask questions, and then we walk around, and they were like, "Hey, can I see your answer?" I mean,
but way more interaction.
But in like an online classes, you can't really do that unless you like just send them like a direct message, and even then it's like distracting them from the class itself. Especially with less class time, you can't really do that often. And when you want to like ask questions to like another person, like, "Hey, can you see the answer?" It's also like everyone can hear that.
Like if you're DMing somebody in your Zoom call, like setting poggers or something, that's gonna distract them from anything.
Oh yeah, who would do that?
Yeah, who would do that? Who would do that? I wonder. You know, I'm not gonna. I wonder. Math class. What other classes though?
I mean,
I don't want to say the obvious, but definitely the science classes.
Science class. I mean, I take computer science, which is,
computer.
But at the same time, doing computer science class online isn't necessarily the best online per se. But I mean, it's fine computer science for me. But I don't take experimental science like you do. Like take bio and chem.
I take bio and chem.
What do you think about those?
You definitely. Well, they give us virtual labs to do instead of practical labs. In my complete honest opinion, sometimes they work, but oftentimes they're just there for you to get through like a packet, like finish a worksheet or something. It's not really something you actually get to experience firsthand and digest all the knowledge.
So you get like made up calculated data by computer.
Yes.
Isn't that what some people use anyway for the IAC? Don't tell anyone.
But honestly, it's not all too bad though. You can still practice writing like data analysis and like lab reports. That's not really something you need to do anything practical for. It's more so like a written exercise. It's more so like a written technique to get through.
I mean, also like online classes are also like very limited in the visuals that you can show.
Yeah.
Because like for example, in economics, right, we would like learn about graphs and all those stuff and all those concepts, and of course you can put them in a slide. But then, let's say for example, someone asks like a specific question about like a specific a specific scenario, usually in classes and even now, the teachers would go up to the board and start drawing a graph and making new labels of like drafts that like are not in the presentation. And with being it online, it's difficult to do that unless you have the necessary tools. Okay?
All heavily pixelated.
I kind of remember my teacher attempting to do it in Google Drawings, and it just ended up costing more time than actually for us to probably figure this much out ourselves.
We're trying to do something in Google Drawings, like the scribble function. You're drawing side graphs instead of like straight lines.
Oh, good God.
Wait,
Of course. What? Yeah?
I think I forgot.
Of course, forgetting. And speaking of forgetting, we can't forget about tests. Of course, online tests.
Oh yeah, we need to mention that.
Online tests, online quizzes, whether it be on Google Forms or having
or take-home tests.
Take-home tests.
Which is more of an assignment than a test itself.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm sure you've done this too, but teachers give us questions, and then we get the questions and we're supposed to do it on paper, and we're supposed to have our cameras pointing it on paper.
Oh yeah.
But then, what the teachers might not realize that we are, as students in private school, have resources to have second screens on the side looking at the answers. I'm not gonna say who did.
I do not.
I'm gonna say actually, I am obligated to say that I did not do that at all.
I have a broken down like MacBook Air from 2012. It's still working. And that's all I've been using for my school studies at least. Oh, there's somebody else there.
But yeah.
Another thing.
Yeah.
Group projects. You know how in Zoom calls you can try and like divide your class into like different
groups? Yes, breakout rooms.
Breakout rooms. I love breakout rooms. Do you ever? Okay, this is a bit of a sidetracked question, but do you ever have those moments where you guys are just talking about a completely different topic and a teacher just hops into your room, wonders what's going on? You try your best to salvage the situation.
I feel like it gets off topic the moment someone mentions like a funny joke, and they're like, dude, that reminds me of the time when I did this, and then everyone starts going on the chain of stories.
And I had my dog running into my room as well. Like I showed off the entire class. It's true. I mean,
yeah,
you can get very easily distracted.
You can get very easily distracted, especially since, of course, I mean, doing class online, you have like direct internet access. You don't have to worry about, the horrible bandwidth of slow Wi-Fi.
Well, but you also have to worry about your horrible internet too, and how some people just keep disconnecting, especially the teachers.
The teachers just somehow disconnect more than the students.
The teachers oftentimes kind of disconnect more than the students. And there's just a bunch of students in class waiting. We had to also do PE online.
I did not take PE online.
I had to do strength training online, and we had to do T25, which was 25 minutes of straight up intense cardio in a room. And I think I've gotten enough noise complaints from the bottom floor to know that this is not a good idea. I won't be surprised if my entire room just collapses down and I find myself on the ground with splinters all around my leg.
I mean, speaking of other people, you do have multiple people in your home.
Yes.
And then
you just hear me doing jumping jacks in my room like I'm dying.
And also maybe Asian household, we live in the same house. Occasionally, your brother will sometimes walk in and randomly
we hear family members just coming in, especially during exams too.
Oh yeah, during exams. They come in during exams. Wow.
I mean, I tried to tell them that I'm having an exam, but there's a bit too many people in my household to kind of manage this.
I mean, yeah. But I am thankful that we're back here though.
Very thankful.
Very thankful. Real thankful.
Not as much for my sleep schedule, but thankful for other reasons as well.
But I mean, were your sleep schedule better when it was online learning?
Compared to this year?
Compared to right now.
Compared to right now. Much better.
Much better?
Much better.
I mean,
much better.
Okay, it's kind of weird to compare you. How about, what's your online sleep schedule better than when you were first year IB?
Yeah, first year IB.
Was it better or
I'd
worse?
Say it was around the same.
Around the same.
Mm-hmm.
But
compared to this year, Okay, yeah, it might just be like a third variable.
Right. I mean,
compared to how year two,
yeah.
IB tells you.
Let's just compare. So you get IB year 1, we're just slowly learning about stuff. Go on to year 2, where we have like 6.
Sure, I won't blame that to moving on to real life learning, but I'd say having that online aspect still helps, considering I do not have to wake up at 5:30 anymore, and can instead wake up at 8 o'clock, which is.
Honestly, I probably give like almost anything for school to start at like 8 instead of 7, and just end at like 4.
I actually love that.
3:40, whatever time it is. Oh, man, because the morning, it's just like.
No, I mean, I think my body has gotten accustomed to at least working early in the morning.
Early in the morning?
Early-ish in the morning.
So you work in the morning?
I can wake up. Sometimes I wake up at 7 o'clock if I have to like cram in a ton of class.
7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh, like school days or what?
No, not school days. Not school days.
Oh, weekends?
Weekends.
Ah, interesting.
If I have to like cram in a ton of work, but usually my sleep schedule is like 8:30 around that time.
Yeah, you're probably flexing on some weird, some like majority of the other people's sleep schedule right now.
I'm sorry.
Considering we've heard so many stories where people like, oh man, they got like,
What is sleep?
3 hours of sleep last night. But then some people are just like, some people are like, I got 3 hours sleep, and I ask them, hey, what are you gonna do last night? Oh, I was on. Or I like did nothing browsing for like until like 10 p.m. I started work at 10 p.m. until 2 a.m. Which, although sometimes I do get into that pitfall sometimes.
True.
But yeah, it is interesting.
It's good. I'd say it's good to have like both perspectives though of an online learning like environment and real life environment.
Yeah, I mean, what about like moving? Okay, just like I feel last thing because we don't want this to be too long, but
yeah.
But you
last
know,
question.
as you know, we are applying to like colleges soon, right?
Yes, we are applying to colleges.
Yeah, or we are already applying to colleges already.
And
then so the thing is that some of the countries we applied to are not as in control of the pandemic as we are. So I mean,
have to do an online.
In some cases, if we do have to do an online learning, what do you think about that?
I think it wouldn't be too different from, I guess, how it is now. Because in colleges at least, you only have one course to really worry about, correct? Like the major that you're putting yourself into.
I don't know much about colleges, but
all I know
probably major is the important thing. You get your credits and stuff.
I don't think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be even. I won't get too presumptuous, but I guess trying to get my bachelor's degree for college won't be as stressful or like distressing as the IB diploma is currently.
Yes.
I assume that at least, and I guess definitely on the aspect of writing research projects and research papers too, which the IB prepares you well for.
I mean, I also too from like at least like my position of colleges from like everywhere. I like sometimes I come across videos like colleges like lectures where the classes like really massive, like 100 people in there. Yeah. I mean, I assume there's not gonna be as much like teacher to students interaction as often in college as in like in high school. Mm-hmm. So that lost aspect, since that aspect is also really lost in online learning, that might not be something that you miss much from colleges. True. On the other hand, the college experience is something different. I mean, most of us are going abroad, and that's just something to look at. I mean, we're not just going abroad.
It's a large sense of independence, right?
Yeah, large sense of independence. I mean, we're not just going abroad just to like study at a college with good reputation. We're going abroad because, hey, I want to explore this country, I want to have free time to do there, I want to see snow, in which our country is only summer.
What is snow in Thailand?
What is snow in Thailand? There's no snow. Wow.
We only have rain and like heat waves.
Even the rain is like a warm water. I can't believe it.
It's like boiling water just dropping down from the sun. I don't know. I guess I'll probably enjoy college.
Yeah. I guess we have to see though. Mm-hmm. Depending on how I don't want to say dumb, but still like some people are really dumb in the pandemic. Like, hey, I want to have a party with 10,000 different people in my city. Oops, someone's infected. It's fine. As long as we're not a boomer, we're not gonna get sick. It was too bad you are gonna get sick. Anyhow, before we get too controversial here, we're gonna end this episode. Although this episode is shorter than our usual guest episode.
We'll be getting a guest episode.
But we will be trying to have a guest, and of course, this.
After
I'm also planning to probably, share these contents on like the IB subreddits.
Yeah, sure.
Of course, and maybe share it somewhere. Maybe we can get like international guests. That could be fun. But yeah, anyhow, that's gonna do it for today. We hope you have enjoyed wherever you are watching or not watching, listening, or just simply putting it in the background for your weird study choices. We don't know why you put this podcast.
Just listen to music.
But anyhow, we hope you enjoy. Have a nice day, night, everything. And thank you.
Yes.
Goodbye.
It's PodCAS.